Joby's here to talk Pecos Valley Bass Masters, Salamanders and Bass.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Got through the weekend.
Got through the weekend and came out alive, even though the wind blew 1,000 miles an hour. But, yesterday I guess it wasn't too bad, but Saturday blew pretty good.
Blew pretty good on Saturday, and then there was prom Saturday night, and of course that was indoors. So
that was indoors, but I went and stood outdoors so that my wife could take pictures of our daughter and her date coming through the, they walk the hall, and then they come and they build a bridge across the bus lane, and they go into the gym, the old gym, for prom these days. I guess it's been that for years now. Anyway, so it wasn't too bad that night, but at 9 o'clock or whatever time it was, but yeah, good weekend, and looking forward to a good weekend of fishing this coming week.
Okay, well, let's
talk about that.
Let's talk about that. You have a tournament coming up?
We have a tournament, and we've actually decided to go ahead and make two. We've got originally on our schedule, it was we had 4 tournaments scheduled for Brantley Lake this year, and they were all one day, just Saturday tournaments. But we had a member of our club suggest maybe doing, since it's close and Brantley is right here, maybe going ahead and doing 2 one-day tournaments. They're all team tournaments. And so I thought that was a good idea. I mean, I guess when we wrote the schedules, or when we approved the schedule, I don't know if anybody thought about it or if it was even mentioned. I don't remember anybody, but anyway. So we're going to go ahead and have 2 schedules, or 2 tournaments this coming weekend. Saturday will be a team tournament, and then Sunday will be a separate team tournament. So anglers can fish one or both, and I talked to our tournament director, and he said he's good with that. And so really, I didn't think we'd need to take it to the club. If people don't want to fish it, they don't have to. But as long as our tournament director was good with it. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'd sent an email out this morning. If anybody's out there listening or watching and you haven't seen the email yet, you have an email from me talking about that, and also an email via PayPal for the invoices. As always, the entry fees are due by Thursday at noon. Our club is pretty used to using PayPal, but and we have some that doesn't like to use it, so they know how to get it to us. But if you want to pay for one or both of those tournaments, you've got the invoice, or you should have it in your inbox. Now, the way I set it up, and again, this is for everybody that may or may not remember or maybe new. We've got some new members to the club this year. I set it up in one invoice. The total on the invoice says $240, but that is for 2 tournaments, and that is for a team of 120 each team. But I did set it up in the invoice so that the minimum you can pay is $60. So let's say you're just fishing 1 tournament, and your partner's going to pay their half.
Right.
Then you can just pay the $60. Or you can pay $120, or you can pay $240. I mean, it's structured so that one person can take care of it. If they wanted to, they can do either 1 or 2 days, or they can just pay theirs. So I've already had a couple of entries come in right after the entry fees and the information went out. So and they're both fishing both days. But in any case, it is $120 to enter the team tournament, each one. And, of course, we'll have big bass, and so that comes out of that. And then, all the information.
That's for each day.
That's $120 per day.
But you'll have a big bass each day.
We'll have a big bass each day. Yep. And all the pertinent information will go out as far as I put some information in the email this morning, not knowing that I put in there that after the tournament director and I talked, he suggested we blast off around 6. It's daylight, about 6:15, fully daylight. And so you can see clearly at 6. And that's what he wanted to do, is blast off at 6. But then, so I put that in the email, sent it out, and then I got an email from one of our club members who said they went out there this week, and the gate says the gates don't open until 7.
At Brantley Lake.
At Brantley Lake. So I think that's what he told me.
Yeah.
So in any case, I'll be sending out once everybody's entered, and this is our normal thing the last 2 or 3, 4 years, I'll send out an email on Thursday afternoon, evening, that will go to just those who have entered, and they'll get all the pertinent information, including when we'll blast off. If the gates are, which apparently they will be shut. I was going to look real quick because he may have told me 6:30. I'm going to, so that I can clarify here on the radio.
Yeah,
here.
This is live research.
Live research. So, yeah, one of our members in Carlsbad emailed me and said that they were out there yesterday. Oh, 6:30. Yeah, not 7. 6:30. So the gates open at 6:30 a.m. So we will probably not blast off until 7-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be fully daylight. We won't be able to get in until 6:30. But all that information will be sent out on Thursday afternoon/evening, sometime that day, probably afternoon, because we got a ball game, I think, Thursday evening. So I'll try to get all that information out right after lunch on Thursday once I have all those that are going to fish entered. And then that way it'll just go to those that are fishing. It won't go to everybody on our club list.
Mm-hmm.
Because those that aren't fishing, they won't care when we're going to do everything. So that's the deal. And then in May, we've got in conjunction with New Mexico Bass Nation, it's at Ute Lake, and so everybody can be looking forward to that. Those will also be 2 one-day tournaments, but they're individual. So you've got a boater, all boaters fishing against boaters, and all non-boaters fishing against non-boaters. For those tournaments. And I think we have another. I'm going to look real quick on our schedule. PVBM.
They may have changed their hours because I'm looking at the
website
at the
Brantley.
EMNRD, which is the Energy, Minerals, and
Right.
Natural Resources Department
Right.
website, and they're showing the hours as 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. But if you've got more up-to-date information, that's...
Well, he said it was on the sign on the gate. So
Yeah.
whoever's out there, I guess, is opening it up maybe earlier than previously.
Which is good to know, because if you want to have a blast off at 7, you need to have the gates open by 6:30, so that...
Well, yeah, we'll just have to blast off whenever we can.
Yeah.
With knowing that the sign says 6:30, then we'll probably move it to either 7 or 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
So just looking ahead in May 21st and May 22nd, on our schedule, if people went to our website, they're going to see under the lake, it's going to say to be determined, TBD, but it has been determined. I just haven't updated it. Those are individual tournaments. There's 2 of them, one on May 21st, one on May 22nd. It's going to be at Ute Lake, and that is going to be fished in conjunction with New Mexico Bass Nation.
Okay.
And then we fish again in Brantley on June 11th, and we're probably going to do June 11th and June 12th. So I'm kind of looking out in advance here. I guess part of it will depend on Brantley if there's fish biting, if people want to, if we get out there on a Saturday and nobody catches a fish, probably nobody's going to want to come back on Sunday. So we'll just play
Sure.
that by ear. That's happened before, is why I bring it up. We've had some tournaments at Brantley where they were just no fish biting.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, we may not have it. But tentatively, our 4 Brantley tournaments are going to turn into 8 Brantley tournaments, starting with this weekend. So April 30th, which is Saturday, will be a team tournament. May 1st, which is Sunday, will be a team tournament. And then jumping into June 11th, which is a Saturday, will be a team tournament. June 12th will be a team tournament, so 2 that weekend. And then into July 9th and 10th, again, 2 one-day team tournaments. And then finally, our last tournaments before going to our championship will be in August 27th, which is a Saturday, and then theoretically August 28th, 2 more team tournaments, which is going to, by doing that, we're adding 4 more tournaments to our schedule. We had 15 tournaments. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 15 scheduled. So if we do end up fishing 4 additional at Brantley, we'll have 19 on the year.
Okay. Ute Lake State Park, that's another
Ute
state
Lake
park?
State Park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks very nice up there,
It is.
wherever they are.
It is. It's up north of here, north of Tucumcari. It's in Logan, New Mexico,
Okay.
and real nice lake, really nice place. I'm hoping they got good water. It was pretty low. It's been low for several years, last couple of years, but it's a good lake, especially when there's good water. So
Well, according to their website, and this was updated on the 11th, so this is a couple weeks old.
okay,
5,681,000 surface acres, 140,544 acre feet So I have no idea what that compares to.
Yeah, I don't either. It's
be
not a great big lake, but it is it's not as big as some of the Texas lakes we fish, but plenty of room. It's a great lake, great tournament, and it'll be a good tournament to fish with in conjunction with New Mexico Bass Nation.
Yeah.
Those two tournaments.
So those are coming up. Go to pvbm.club.
Yep.
And you can get your forms to sign up. You can get registered, and then if you need to get a hold of somebody, there's some contact info on there. And if you want to go fishing at one or both of the tournaments this weekend at Brantley Lake.
Yeah, if you're not already on our list, then you didn't get anything from me. So, yeah, if you want to fish Brantley, you want to join the club. I know we're going to have, it looks like we're going to have a couple of guests, and we may have more than two.
Yeah.
But right now I know of two guys that are going to fish as guests with a couple of our members. And that's another good reason to have them here close, is that people that maybe have never fished tournament fishing or haven't been in a while, they can kind of get back into it a little bit without having to spend a ton of money.
Yeah.
Driving 4 or 5 hours away to fish. It's just right here. So yeah, I'm thinking we'll have a big turnout down at Brantley.
Well, I know you're going to try to fish. You haven't fished all year.
I haven't fished all year. I'm hoping to fish. There is an outside chance that I won't, and it'll be. But yeah, I'm planning to.
Yeah.
Saturday. I won't be able to fish Sunday, but I am planning to Saturday.
Yeah. So for somebody that's running a little behind, I mean, I'm sure the other boaters, fishermen have already done this, but you got to get the boat out, right?
Yeah, it hasn't been in the water since last fall.
Yeah.
So I'd like to check everything on it. We're going to do that this week, my son and I. And the reason I might not fish, I mean, there's an outside chance that I won't. It'll be, if I don't, it'll be because I'm letting Andrew, my son, bring a guest, because he had asked me, what do you think about me having a guest? I said, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But, I may do that just so that a guest can fish, because I want to build our club. I mean, I want to fish it, but there's a chance I won't.
Yeah.
In any case.
So it's a state park. It's a state lake. Mm-hmm. What are some of the safety requirements that they have on the lake?
Normal stuff that it can all be found at the website you were at earlier. Mm-hmm. You got to have flotation devices, that are up to code. You've got to have a bell bucket. You've got to have, even if you have the bilge pumps, and most modern boats have bilge pumps, but you still have to have in case they fail. You got to have a whistle or a horn. You got to have another flotation device that's separate from your
vest.
Vests. Mm-hmm. Your life vests. Trying to think what else. You got to have current registration on your boat. You got to pay for parking there in any state lake. But on the water, what else you got? Oh, you got to have an oar in your boat. Again, for safety in case your motors quit. You got to be able to get to the shore. I can't think. There is a list, and there's a list of requirements for any lake. And most anglers, most people that fish know all of this already, but sometimes people are new to it. And so I always, I tell them where to go get that information. A few years ago, when I took over, I actually was adding that. I put together a packet, and they got a packet when they joined the club. This was pre us using email and pre-COVID. But when we stopped having regular meetings, 2 or 3 years ago, I started just emailing everybody, and I'd give them the links, or I would send them a copy on the email. And if anybody wants that and they don't want to go search for it, just email me and I'll get it to you. But the information, but it's pretty common on lakes anywhere, the things I just mentioned. And I can't think of anything else, or probably other stuff, but
those are the main ones.
The main things that you got to have on your boat. And and we get checked.
Is there an expiration date on life vests?
Well, I don't know so much an expiration date, but there are newish. I don't know how new they are. They may be 15, 20 years old. But to me, I started using some vests that have the automatic, when they get wet, they blow up. Mm-hmm. And those canisters can expire. Okay. There's canisters in the vest. Just a normal life vest that just is no, I don't think there's any expiration date on them.
But on something like that has a
because I had one that expired. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't realize it. And we were at a lake somewhere in Texas or somewhere, and I think the ranger I think it was a lake ranger pointed it out to me. I had other life vests in the boat,
so you were okay.
So I was okay, but the one I actually had that I used, that I which I swim, but anyway.
It had an expired canister.
They can expire.
Yeah.
I believe those things can. Because that's, if I'm remembering right, that's what had happened.
That's
with
interesting.
mine.
And you wonder on stuff like that. This is just my silly mind. Say it has an expiration date of June 1st, 2022. So up until June 1st of 2022.
Yeah, but the next day it's going to sink.
If you hit water, boom, it's going to open up. But on the 2nd of June, at the stroke of midnight.
You know what? I'm thinking maybe it's not an expiration date. Maybe it just. I know it's got a little green. It's got a little thing inside, like you can see it, and it's either red or green. And maybe I'm wrong, and people out there that know better than me will probably be correcting me if I'm wrong. But
yeah,
in any case,
but if you have anything like that, make sure that you check those.
Yeah, because it can either go bad or it can have an issue, and then they can say, well, that's not not legal. But I think there are life vests that don't have anything on them, and if they don't have a written I mean, they'd probably be old ones, really 40, 50 years old or something like that. But everything that's within the last, who knows how many years, 20, 30 years, probably, has something on the vest, as what it's rated for, all that kind of stuff. And
so check all that.
Yeah.
Make sure the buckles and the clips and all that stuff
is operational. Now, the other thing that we do is your live wells have to work to fish in our tournaments. And so that's something that we definitely check, because we don't want fish, we're trying to keep fish from dying. And you want to have good live wells so that when you're putting your fish in them, they stay alive.
That's what they're there for.
That's right.
Yeah. Joby, thank you as always, and good luck fishing this weekend.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
We'll look forward to getting the results next week.
Okay.